Hey Internet, Rob Cass here again. There's some interesting stuff involving Spider-Man happening right now, and so I thought I'd talk about that today. The first full trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out yesterday, and wow, does that look like a lot of fun. I gotta say, I'm impressed. It looks fantastic. The visuals are amazing. It looks fast-paced. It looks like it has a lot of humor and heart, both of which you really need to tell a good Spider-Man story. Humor and heart both have to be at the core of every good Spider-Man story. That's why I feel Spider-Man Homecoming works so well. That's why a lot of the more recent runs in the comics have been as high quality as they have been, because the people in charge of both of those things really know Spider-Man and really know what is needed to tell a good Spider-Man story. And this looks like a good Spider-Man story. The story follows young Miles Morales, who eventually meets up with a very aged and seemingly battle-torn Peter Parker who has seen some shit from the looks of him in this trailer. And the two of them work together to sort of train Miles to become a new Spider-Man. Spider-Gwen makes an appearance. There's the Ultimate Green Goblin is in there. The visuals are incredible. I mean, it looks like a comic book come to life. It's beautiful. Aside from the visuals, the voice acting is really good. The music even in it seems really good. The writing, the story, everything about it. I mean, the humor, the heart, everything you need for a good Spider-Man story, as I said before, is there. It just all sort of clicks. This sort of thing is the kind of thing that you would normally see released direct to DVD, even maybe as a streaming exclusive, something on Netflix or Prime, something like that. But this is actually coming to theaters this Christmas, coming to the big screen, and the visuals in this trailer, I'll link it down below. I mean, the visuals are amazing. I mean, I can't wait to see this on the big screen. Normally this is the kind of thing that I would skip, or that I would, if it was direct to DVD, I would maybe rent that from like a Redbox or something, or I would do on demand or Netflix, something like that. I wouldn't make that much of an effort to run out and see it right away. But the fact that this looks as good as it does, and the fact that it is going to be on a big screen, has me very excited, which is good, because one aspect of the Marvel versus DC feud, if you want to call it that, is that yes, the MCU movies are objectively better than the DCEU movies that have been put out recently, but DC, over the last however many years, have been killing it with the animated movies. Marvel movies have been hit and miss here and there, but the DC animated movies, the JLA movies, the Teen Titans movies, have been consistently good. Justice League Dark I just saw for the first time yesterday or the day before. Very, very good. Just knocking it out of the park with those animated movies. And we really need, on the Marvel side of things, we really need a Marvel movie that is going to be at that level of quality, and this looks like it surpasses it, which is a wonderful thing, that the first animated movie to feature Miles Morales as the lead is going to be seemingly the first Marvel animated movie that just really, really knocks it out of the park. There are also some rumors about the Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Somebody posted some stuff on Reddit that have really sort of taken off. Whether or not any of it's true remains to be seen. If it does end up being true, then some slight spoilers might be ahead here. First thing is that it's supposed to be at least the working title for right now is supposed to be Spider-Man Field Trip, which is kind of funny and cute. I mean, yes, it fits into the theme of Peter Parker being in high school at this moment in his Spider-Manning career. Homecoming, obviously, is a high school term. That one has multiple meanings to it, and it fits that movie in a lot of different ways, besides Homecoming being a high school related thing. Field Trip feels like it might be a little forced into that high school, like, oh, let's just cram a bunch of high school references into these movies. to really drive home that Peter Parker's a high school student. I'm hoping it's just a working title. If it does end up being the final title at release, then it could be worse, I guess. Allegedly, the reason that it's called Spider-Man Field Trip is because the majority of the movie takes place in London. It'll be interesting to see Peter Parker that far outside of his element. The other rumor from this that makes me very excited is the fact that it says, again, allegedly, this is just a rumor, this is just, you know, a leak that's out there, is that the main villain of the film is supposed to be Mysterio. Now, I'm a huge fan of the character Mysterio, have been for a long time. There's a popular fan theory that Bruce Campbell was actually portraying Mysterio through the 3 Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. Bruce Campbell likes that theory, has adopted that theory. Whether or not that theory is correct, who knows? But that if we had gotten a Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4, that he would have shown up as Mysterio and revealed that he was there all along Spider-Man's path, popping up here and there and sort of guiding him through. I love it. I love that idea. We sadly never got that. Spider-Man 3 was Spider-Man 3. But the fact that they're making Mysterio the villain, allegedly, is very interesting to me. It really goes out on the limb of them using villains that have not been in the movies before, that we haven't really seen live action versions before. You know, Spider-Man Homecoming, of course, had the Vulture, which I feel like they handled very well. They sort of tweaked his story just enough and fit it into the current MCU just enough that it made it fresh and interesting and made the Vulture a character that you really, I mean, he was menacing. Michael Keaton did a fantastic job. I can't imagine anybody else doing as wonderful a job as the Vulture as Michael Keaton did. They're eyeing Jake Gyllenhaal to play him. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal is a fantastic actor. He's been in a tons of movies. Another one of those things where he's an A-list actor in a comic book movie. Apparently Mysterio's role in all of this is he's very similar to the Vulture in the first movie, where he sort of comes across these pieces of tech, this time stolen from Stark rather than left over from the Battle of New York, uses those pieces of tech for criminal intentions. According to the Reddit piece, they're also playing up the fact that he's a special effects guy, using all of these pieces of stolen Stark tech to sort of, you know, make himself grander than he really is, which is exactly what he does in the comics. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they do the whole fishbowl thing, if he's a big theatrical whatever. It's going to be fun. I have total faith in them to not fuck this up. They're also talking about Adrian Toomes being in there as well, with Michael Keaton returning to reprise that role. They're talking about Scorpion making an appearance, which works on the same level as Shocker appearing in Spider-Man Homecoming as sort of a B-list villain that menaces Spider-Man, but not to the same level as somebody like the Vulture or, you know, Green Goblin or somebody like that. It's just sort of a street-level villain that just kind of ruins Peter's day. Now, if you have not seen Avengers Infinity War, first of all, what the hell is wrong with you? Literally everyone else in the world has seen it by now. Why haven't you? But if you haven't, I'm gonna spoil the holy fuck out of it in a few seconds. Now, of course, probably the biggest question involving this sequel and these little leaks about the script that are coming out is, what do you mean Peter Parker's back? What happened? He died at the end of Infinity War. I don't understand. Yes, that's right. Peter Parker, little Spider-Man, little Petey, little science boy Parker. Thanos just went like that and poof. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. Oh God, Peter, why, Peter? Peter, no! Peter, no! Yes, I do have an unopened box of Kellogg's limited edition Spider-Man cereal from 2004. Why? Why do I have it? I don't know, but it expired in 2005. Yes, of course, sadly, at the end of Infinity War, Spider-Man was listed amongst the casualties of the big old snap from Thanos, disintegrated into a pile of dust. So, Spider-Man field trip, if that is what they end up calling it, he, first of all, is fine now, somehow. Somehow he's not dust. Not sure how that works. But the other rumored thing is that since this takes place after the events of Avengers 4, not only is Spider-Man back, but apparently Tony Stark is dead, which really hammers home the rumor that they're gonna start killing off some big, huge MCU names. Tony Stark would probably be the biggest name for them to kill off right now. So Spider-Man Field Trip sees Peter Parker dealing with not only the death of his mentor, Tony Stark, but also this asshole Quentin Beck stealing a bunch of Stark tech, becoming a supervillain, plus Vulture still being out there doing shit, Scorpion's gonna pop up, so he's gonna have a lot on his plate, which that will make for an interesting movie. Whether or not any of this ends up being true, we'll find out whenever the hell that movie's supposed to come out. Thanks for watching, and if you want to come over and have some Spider-Man cereal that expired 13 years ago, well, you can't, because I'm not opening it. I'm not gonna open it. I bought this when it first came out. I had it in a box, and I just found it, and it's so, you know. But look, it's Spidey Berry. It's Spidey Berry flavored. Jesus Christ.